Before I get into the next set of questions, just letting our participants know that you can send in your questions if you do have any, because after the discussion is over, we will be providing some time to answer your queries. So please send them in, Q&A. There's actually a box on menu right there. We are looking forward to your questions. Now, let's say the world is ready to travel again. Who will come back to the market first? And which markets? I believe that this is something we all would like to know. And in terms of marketing, how different will the marketing of incentive travel be post-COVID? But before we let our speakers share their views, we do have a live poll as well. And we'd like our audience to participate, to share your views with us. Please have a look at the poll, click onto the menu. And the first question is, when will you travel again? When will you travel again? There are a few multiple choices. So after this question, we'll have a look at the results. Okay, now, getting back into the debate. Jen, who do you think will come back to the market first, and which market?
It's definitely going to be your regional and close allies there in the Asia region that are going to come back to Thailand first. But definitely, like I said earlier, we're still looking at outbound incentive travel from the North American market. Canadians have always had a passport, and we are very keen to jump on and explore the world. But going to the further part of your question about marketing to the industry right now, I think one of the benefits or the silver linings of all of this is that people are going to question why they're traveling or why they're meeting, so I think it's just going to make for more meaningful, authentic experiences. So, while I think the whole safety and security, everybody needs to share what they're doing in order to build that confidence, I also think that Thailand has a special place to build. You have such a unique destination and such a unique sense of self that I think that's going to resonate with people around the world. And I think that both meetings and incentive side are going to look to destinations like yours to focus on the sustainability of the events industry and how you can make an impact. So I think it's coming down to what you said earlier about building trust with the people and building an authentic memory for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Nitin, what about marketing of incentive travel under this new normal scenario?
Well, India as a market, if for example, the scenario that you gave me was, that if everything goes well, how it will happen. So if everything is okay, the government says it's okay to fly. We did a survey calling our corporate clients here in India, and the meeting planners, they are all ready to go. They just want to know the new standard operating procedures. 59% of people that we called, they mentioned that they will be planning an incentive trip by the end of the year, like October to December, if everything goes well, by September.
2020.
So, absolutely. That's
great.
When we spoke to the corporates, like I did a research 2 days back where we called about 120 people in India who are like really opinion makers in terms of who have business actually in hand, and we have current customers who have their groups which has postponed or still in the pipeline. So I think if 59% of corporates says that we will plan as we get the regulations in place, which is a great sign. So the first thing that they also mentioned was that domestic travel will be the first one for every region that will come up, and they will test down, how things are going, and they will get used to the new normal, the new standard operating procedures that will be in place. And as that Sumit rightly said, that all the governments need to work together to bring out like one common standard operating procedure which is acceptable everywhere. Of course, it'll be different at this point of time because of the situation. But I really feel that, the next step would be regional travel, and Thailand is considered as, I would say, an extension of the domestic travel for India, because that's the first international destination that Indians travel to. And, if you see the history, no matter what has happened in the past, there have been terrorist attacks, there have been, SARS or any other pandemic. in the past, I think India has been one of the fastest comeback market. I would say, not if not the fastest growing market, but I think it's been the fastest comeback market to support really the markets which have been troubled. So I feel very positive about it, and I feel that once the rules and regulations are set, and if both the governments allow travel to happen with the new procedure, India will definitely bounce back very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Alicia, I understand that China has restarted some MICE activities already. When it comes to incentive travel, which markets are actually showing a sign of recovery? Is there any at this point?
Yes, to talk about the type of business, we think we started first with the domestic travel because China is back to normal now, and also leisure travel as well. But international for outgoing, I think first will be the business travel and incentive travel, because we all know incentive travel brings a business, and for the areas, the countries and cities, we think China and Asia, as well as Australia and New Zealand, will come back to first to the market, and some cities, who has a good protection and control of the epidemic and recover quickly, will come back first, such as Austria in Europe and Northern Europe. Some countries in Northern Europe, they are doing quite well. And for the talking about marketing, we really do a lot of online marketing, social media, online training, online roadshows, online fan trip, and destination promotion by e-magazine, and also online survey for customers' feedback, so that we can design a new year marketing plan for promotion, for destination promotion. And we also started the early bird recovery destination cooperation plan with the city or country who can recover quickly from the epidemic, especially with we have the direct flights, and the airline can start it first, and then we can support each other, the destination to destination, city to city, country to country gradually. I think first we started within Asia.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier that healthcare industry has been showing some good signs of recovery. Is that so?
Yes, for healthcare and medical and pharmaceutical direct sale, especially for health equipment and herbal products, and also insurance, because insurance also developed a lot, and also automobile. Because people want to keep a distance, so a lot of people buying more cars because in this way they can easily go to work. But of course, normally our industry people right now all work from home, and this also the change that we have to change from traditional office management to the remote management, online, everything online.
Kun Nishapha, how must businesses adapt post-COVID to capitalize on the awaiting opportunities once markets rebound? And tell us a bit more about Thailand's recovery plan.
What would be different post-COVID? I think first of all, we actually released a statement called Insight to Foresight last week. And in the statement, we expressed that TCEP foresees that new experiences that may appeal to incentive buyers. Probably one of the concepts of what we call privatization, which means that event organizer may consider investing in exclusive buyouts of the hotels and venues or restaurants as a group isolation, and that hopefully would enhance a sense of safety and hygiene to all the delegates. And I think the content would be king, definitely. We should invest in content creation. Customers would love to know why the destination is unique and why it is recommended. So we need to invest into that. Technology will be very critical. not only to do with the tracing, tracking system for the safety and hygiene purpose, but also to hype customers' engagement and also to provide more of the touchless experiences to answer the concerns, the current concerns of the international delegates. Sustainability will also be a distinct focus, so more CSR in the program is foreseeable. As for TSEP, we have come up with what we call a recovery program. There are 3 phases. We have response, which we already launched in February until March. And then from now, we are going into the recovery. And then we have 3 years restoration plan in place just for business events industry. Now, in recovery, one of the recovery campaign is to come up with hygiene discipline for all to practice across the board. And this would help unify the collaboration among suppliers because everybody will have to answer to the hygiene measures. And with that unity, I believe that we can provide a good and strong message to the delegates. In terms of restoration and still in the recovery would be the collaboration between private and public sector. TSEP is now working closely with TICA and SITE to come up with some campaign just to answer and sort of tailor-made to each source market, because each individual source market would have their own preferences and also some unique requirement. And we are trying to be as adaptive as we can, even though we are operating under a very rigid governmental rules, but that's fine, because whole intention is just to make sure that we can support wherever, whenever, and whatever incentives or supports to all the stakeholders so that they can really bring in the groups as easy as they can.
Sumedh, how has the incentive travel within the private sector adjusted in order to cope with the challenges, and how are they preparing to themselves to actually jumpstart once everything rebounds, the industry regains its footing?
First, let me show what I brought for Chen.
Aww,
Crystal ball?
thank you.
Yes.
Crystal ball, I love it.
I couldn't find anything in here either. So, well, the industry has been bracing ourselves for first the obstacles that we're facing at the time, and second to maintain communications with customers. Those who have postponed, they are very grateful that they postponed and they will come back when the normalcy returns. And we've been actually motivating ourselves. TICA ourselves is organizing a lot of webinars and courses sessions. We've done 2 with a couple of hundred participants each. And one, I think today has about 400 something people coming in. So we are sharing information, we're motivating, keep everybody motivating. And we know that the future is there. We just need to wait and smartly attain information, access information, and prepare. In terms of your question about how to market, I think the marketing strategy should always be on time. I mean, with the current situation right now, the effects and the threats of coronavirus is not conclusive yet. So we really can't come up with a complete final procedure. But we should continue to monitor the situation, the changes, the evolutions, and eventually come up with a plan or a confidence plan to show people when they want to travel at that time. And these things will change, still change. So we need to be right on time, and we will update it on each situation. And I think to market now, or maybe in the few months' time, we could leverage on Thailand's ability to contain the spread of the virus. Because I understand now Thailand is ranked 8th in the world in terms of effectiveness. And I think it's too low because we haven't even reached 3,000 infections yet. And we've controlled the fatality very well. And
the government's done a good job.
I think we've been doing a very good job, and also the people have been obedient and they have discipline. So that is one of the key success issues.
Mm-hmm. Now, the next question is for our international speakers, for Jennifer, Alicia, and Nitin. How do you see Thailand CVB coping with the crisis, and what do you want to see from our incentive travel industry once this pandemic is over?
Oh, that's for me to take note.
Okay. All right, we'll have Jennifer.
So
Away.
that's a
I'm ready.
Kunishapa is ready to take notes. So Jennifer, fire away. What do you want to see? Jennifer, can you hear us? She's thinking very hard now. I think she's having probably some connection issues. So we'll go over to Nitin. Oh, are you back? Jennifer, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
sorry,
So
my
go
phone
ahead.
just died.
Go ahead, please.
I said I'd like a really big party, but honestly, I think you guys are in a unique position, like many of the panelists said, about encouraging people. Right now, with the incentive industry, I mean, first of all, we're going to have luxury travel. It's going to come back first, and we've touched upon your ability to contain, because of the size of some of the hotels, contain groups with charters, charter boats, charter airlines, and with the smaller hotel product as buyouts. So that's a good opportunity in the region as well. But it's going to be about promoting the authenticity, like I said before, of Thailand to the North American buyer. I think that's going to resonate. It definitely resonates with the millennial market who are looking for unique experiences. Just like the meetings industry, we're going to move to a hybrid model for a while, which is basically offering the qualifiers the option of either incentive travel rewards them individually or another alternative, maybe it's cash. But that's just a short-term plan because not everybody in the qualifying group will want to travel. And again, a lot of that travel is dependent on when our governments open up the borders and the air travel is back. But long-term, one of the biggest benefits of incentive travel is the memories that you build together as a qualifier unit and the opportunities that you get with senior leadership on those trips. And the positive news that we're seeing, we did a health security webinar with SITE with Terry Brock from Abbott and Dr. Jonathan Sparrow a couple of weeks ago now. And some of the clients are actually, to Nitin's point, looking at ways to expand their incentive travel portfolio. So instead of just taking incentive travel from the sales sector for automotive or pharma or insurance, the growth, and we saw this in our incentive travel index last year, is on the soft power of incentive travel. So one of Terry from Abbott's points was there's a lot of people right now that are going above and beyond in their industries during this time. So how do we reward them? So she's actually looking at increasing the number of incentive travel programs outside of the sales arena. So that's very positive news for all of us.
Nitin?
Well, I have to speak from the customer perspective because I'm part of the TCEP team on the India side. So I will definitely talk from the perspective of the customer, what we have spoken about, and the most important aspect is communication. That's what they expect. They want to have clear and accurate communication and timely communication, which has happened so far, and I'm sure it's going to continue because we are part of that communication as well, and it is very well received in India, and we have to develop the confidence building promotional campaigns or communication which actually helps the customer to take a decision in the favor of Thailand, and which has also been reflected upon the communication we have done so far, because we have received a lot of positive comments of being proactive and taking the lead in even Southeast Asia, which is a great feedback to have, and I think that's what we need to continue, and then slowly build up in consultation with the client as they get ready, more support in terms of it can be financial, non-financial, anything, but I think we need to come up with the promotional campaign which can really help them to bridge the gap between the budget and the need that they have. So I think these are a couple of points that I feel that the Indian market will be looking.
Alicia,
Yes.
question to you as well.
Yes, I think keep our clients updated information about your destination, especially this kind of a webinar or direct video program should be held to the destination you want to the incentive resources cities or countries you want to target, and give more programs like story telling and case study of the successful events you had before, and invite all the organizers who have successful events in your country, in city, and share their experience. And also by this chance also includes your new suppliers and new DMCs and new venues for better services and better prices, because China is coming back. Recently we have especially direct sales. The size of the group still large. Up to now for asking 300, and the larger one is 1,200. They still want to travel all together, not separately in a different wave. So I suggest it's better for hygiene and prevention and control of epidemic. You need to first choose hotels, like Jane says, maybe some of the chartered hotels, the right number, right room for those groups, only for you. So it's good, easy for hygiene and prevention control of the epidemic. Because I think it's a long, according to WHO, the COVID-19 will stay with us for a longer time. Mm-hmm. So I think we have to have backup plan and be ready for that. And it's going to be part of the most important design in our proposals with all those prevention and control of the epidemic. And also we made special staff or professional in the big group, especially to be charged on site or even starting with the proposal making to help us throughout, to give us a direction, because that's the most important. Another thing is I think we need to create a new, work with the insurance company, create a new event insurance to help our organizers and guarantee them no loss, to the customers, because it may happen. You don't know, when the group is going on and something happens, and what you have to postpone all the prepaid payment, what you should do, how you can keep it for next, or to make sure that no loss to the customer, to the organizers. And the other is that for the products, prefer more events in the open air, and also for special food and better health programs. And also, I find that they are more aggressive now for very unique, only for you experience that none of other people have done before. So we have to create the new programs, new events, new experience for them. And the other one, I think, talking about China market to Thailand, we are similar, especially in Buddhism, in religion. And so theme tours can be with a good wish, with a good feng shui, with good crystal telling. So that's also very people need the wish, need the strong will, because the incentive give them strong will. But with all your culture, all your Buddhism good wishes and good feng shui, whatever, to give them a strong will that we can get over all difficulties, we can make the business development, and those are the kind of things that I think put together. And you can also buy everything online to introduce to China market, do the early bird, we call that early bird recovery destination. And so whenever they're ready, they first say, oh, let's go Thailand. They have so many things ready for us. That's it.
Honey, I would like to add on what Alicia said, though. I think it's all about experiences and developing marketing campaign. You guys have always done this very well anyways, but focused on creating these experiential packages, because I think what people are going to look at is it not just about the destination and about that I'm going to an exotic destination perception wise from North American market. It's going to be about an authentic personalized experience more so than ever. So how do you communicate that in your ad campaigns or your proposals to the industry so that they can sell it
Jennifer,
to their, yeah.
Jennifer, we're losing you. I think the connection is not stable. Jennifer, can you try again? We lost you for a bit. The internet connection is unstable.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, you're back. All right.
Yeah, I was just saying that I just think that it's creating these experiences that Alicia was talking about and marking that to the agencies and allowing them to communicate that back to their corporate planners who are looking for, because the qualifiers are looking for a more authentic experience. More personalized than ever before. So, it's not about going to Paris or Bangkok or wherever you're going. It's about what are you developing in that program that's going to get a true sense of self, a true sense of the destination. So even more so than ever, we've already moved in our industry years ago from champagne and caviar to more personalized experiences. This is going to amplify that even more.
All right, before we go on, let me actually get back to the poll. Remember poll number 1 that was announced a little earlier. When will you travel again? We have the votes out already. So let me see from our staff at Side Thailand. I was told that we do have the results. Can we have the poll results, please? It looks like most of our audience chose number 2 at 52%, which is after the government allowed traveling for a while just to make sure it's safe to make a trip. So that's some positive news. Before we move on, let me get into the second poll. The second question is, all right, let's have it on the screen. Let's assume we are ready to travel again. What will make you choose any destination for your client's incentive trip? Let's assume we're ready to travel again. What will make you choose any destination for your client's incentive trip? So we'd like our participants to vote, and then we'll come back to this. Now, we've been talking about what our site leaders do want from the incentive travel, leaders here in Thailand in the private sector.